Mater Populi Fidelis, Mary, Mother of God's faithful people. Doctrinal note on titles for Mary from the Dicastery of the Doctrine of the Faith, following Graces, number 67. Some titles, such as Mediatrix of all graces, have limits that do not favor a correct understanding of Mary's unique place. In fact, she, the first redeemed, could not have been the mediatrix of the grace that she herself received. This is not a minor point, since it reveals something central. Even in Mary's case, the gift of grace precedes her and comes from the absolutely free initiative of the Trinity in view of Christ's merits. Like all of us, she did not merit her justification by a preceding action of her own, nor did she do so by any subsequent action. Note: see St. Thomas Aquinas in the Summa Theologiae, quote, "When anyone has grace, the grace already possessed is not merited. Although the justified person can merit growth in the life of grace, the fact of being justified, of being a friend of God by grace, will always be absolutely gratuitous." End of quote and note. Even in Mary's case, her friendship with God by grace is always freely bestowed. Her cherished figure is the supreme testimony of the believing receptivity of one who, more than anyone else, opened herself with docility and complete trust to Christ's work, and who, at the same time, stands as the greatest sign of the transforming power of that grace. On the other hand, the title Mediatrix of all graces risks presenting Mary as the one who distributes special goods or energies apart from our personal relationship with Jesus Christ. Nevertheless, the term graces, when seen in reference to Mary's maternal help at various moments in our lives, can have an acceptable meaning. The plural form expresses all the aids, even material, that the Lord may grant us when he heeds his mother's intercession. These helps, in turn, prepare our hearts to open to God's love. In this way, Mary as Mother has a presence in the daily lives of the faithful that is far greater than the closeness any other saint could have. Through her intercession, Mary can implore God to grant us those internal impulses of the Holy Spirit that are called actual graces. These are the aids given by the Holy Spirit that operate even in sinners to prepare them for justification, and that encourage those already justified by sanctifying grace to further growth. Note: what St. Thomas Aquinas calls the final disposition, which occurs simultaneously with the outpouring of sanctifying grace, is itself the immediate work of grace. It is the final disposition on which the form necessarily follows. See Thomas Aquinas, Commentary on the Metaphysics, and on the Sentences, and Summa Contra Gentiles and Compendium Theologiae. End of note 174. It is in this specific sense that the title Mother of Grace must be understood. She humbly cooperates so that we may open our hearts to the Lord, who alone can justify us through the action of sanctifying grace. That is, when God pours his Trinitarian life into us, dwells in us as a friend, and makes us sharers in his divine life. This is exclusively the Lord's own work. At the same time, it does not preclude the possibility that the words, images, or various prompts that we receive through Mary's maternal intercession might help us to persevere in life, to prepare our hearts for the grace that the Lord infuses, or to grow in the life of grace that we have freely received. These aids that come from the Lord are presented to us with a maternal aspect, filled with the tenderness and closeness of the mother whom Jesus wanted to share with us. See John chapter 19. In this way, Mary carries out a unique activity to help us open our hearts to Christ and to his sanctifying grace, which elevates us and heals us. Whenever she brings us various motions, these should always be understood as promptings to open our lives to the one who alone works in our innermost being. Our union with Mary. The Second Vatican Council preferred to call Mary our Mother in the order of grace, which expresses well the universality of Mary's maternal cooperation. This title is undeniable in a precise sense, for she is the Mother of Christ, he who is grace par excellence and the author of every grace. This motherhood of Mary in the order of grace, which flows from Christ's paschal mystery, also implies that each disciple establishes with Mary a unique and unrepeatable relationship. St. John Paul II referred to a Marian dimension of the life of a disciple of Christ, expressed as a response to a person's love and in particular to the love of a mother. Indeed, the life of grace includes our relationship with Christ's mother, for our union with Christ by grace also entails union with Mary in a relationship of trust, tenderness, and wholehearted affection.